Hey fellas, how you doing? It's Johnny. In this video I'm going to teach you how to overcome social anxiety. I'm going to teach you how to attract women, and I'm going to teach you, how to connect to yourself spiritually. So there's two words that come to mind today. It was a fluke. I wasn't planning to make this video. These are usually the best ones. Practical spirituality. Someone asked me a question the other day on YouTube. They said, I really like your work, but it's too spiritual and you're not doing in-field videos anymore demonstrating how to speak to women. I already know about spirituality, and spirituality hasn't got me anywhere in my life. I spent a lot of time on courses and it hasn't really changed the fear. It's a great question, that's why I'm going to answer it. So let me just make one thing straight. I guess spirituality now has become a trend. I don't particularly care, and whether that's right or wrong, I just don't really care. It's become fashionable, just like I suppose pickup artistry was fashionable at one stage. Maybe it still is, but it's not as popular as it was, I think, when the book The Game came out and it sort of started and all the rest of it. Personal development is still very popular. I'm not sure the exact time it had its heyday. I remember, the American days, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, that kind of batch of motivational speakers, Les Brown. But what happens a lot of the time, and this is human nature, we're all guilty of this, and religion as well, we take things out of context, or sometimes we use a particular concept as a way to escape. So lots of people, and I see this when I first work with people, and I read it on the comments on YouTube. I keep my ear to the ground. I speak to people at seminars when they come to my talks. Lots of people say they're spiritual, but they're not applying practical spirituality. So they'll say, I'm a really spiritual person, I believe in love and I believe in being honest. But they're cheating on women, they're talking about their friends behind their back, they've got alcohol addictions, drug addictions, and it's like, well, okay, I can accept that you make mistakes, you're human, but you're not really spiritual. If you believe in love and integrity and honesty, you're certainly not applying it. And just because you meditate once a week and you get present in the moment, that's not the kind of spirituality that I apply in my life. Now, it's not to say I'm right or you're wrong, it's just a point of view. So when I say I'm spiritual, it's because I do believe in love. I do believe in a God, in the sense of an inner God, an inner realization, and I'm also fine with religion. I'm not sensitive. I don't have a problem if people believe in the religion. I think people should be free to believe in what they want within reason. But it annoys me when people say, for example, yeah, when I used to hear it all the time when I used to teach day game, when I used to teach men to meet women on the street. Yeah, I'm really into your work, or I really like the idea of going out and meeting women. I don't like online dating, but they weren't doing it. They wasn't approaching women or speaking to women. I was doing it for 8 hours a day. So I've always been that type of person. When I'm interested in something, I've always fully immersed myself in it. I've always fully dedicated myself to it. If I'm not interested in it, I won't do it, and that's just because I'm not motivated. So the new direction I've gone in, you got to understand, I spent over 10 years going out and meeting women. I done that, shagging different women. Sorry to be blunt there, it sounds a bit rude, a bit arrogant. Getting lots of phone numbers, going on loads of dates. I really got out of my system, and I grew a lot, and it got to a stage where my growth stopped. I had a realization. I realized that for most part what I was doing was dishonest. It was dishonest in every sense of the word. The way I was living my life was dishonest. So that's when I got interested in spirituality. At that time I wasn't really spiritual. I always had a belief in God since I was younger. I never exactly knew, I had an interest in Jesus, but I wasn't 100%, living from the Bible. I just believed in doing good ethics, and I always felt when I was younger something sort of guided me through dark times, depression, a few situations being close to death. So I've always kind of had a spiritual connection. It doesn't mean I'm always connected spiritually. I'm a human being like everyone else. I have days when I feel a bit disconnected, but not as often these days. So, but one thing I've always done. I've always been a practical person. So I've actually taken on that same mentality of my spirituality. I'm doing spirituality now. For me, this is spirituality. I'm walking through the park. I'm walking at a nice pace. I'm practicing my breathing. You know that inner monologue in our mind that creates stories. Sometimes it creates stories of fear. It takes us back in the past. It might take us into a story where someone upset us, someone bullied us, or it might go into fantasy where it plays tricks and says, what if this happens? I work on that now. I work on my spiritual connection. I work on appreciating my life, what I have now, being excited about some of the other things I'm going to get involved in. And I'm just very simple. I enjoy walking through the park, man. You don't have to be spiritual to walk through the park, but it is spiritual for me. For someone else, it wouldn't even be spiritual. If my mum or dad see me, they wouldn't say, oh, Jonathan's going through the park doing spirituality. They'd say, I just see my son walking through the park. But I'm practicing presence. I'm practicing being present, and I'm also making a video. Now, I said at this video, I want to teach you how to overcome social anxiety, how to attract women, applying what I've just called practical spirituality. Before I flip this camera on, I just spoke to 3 women. Now, I didn't come out today planning to speak to women, and I didn't ask for their phone numbers. I just walked past, and it was spontaneous. One woman was sitting down, looking at, there's like a Buddha statue back there, and I just said, you're right. And I smiled, and she went, yeah, and she's really smiled. And I enjoyed that, and I kept walking. I seen another woman, she was writing, and I said, what's that, you're writing poetry? So that's me being natural, being honest. I'm speaking to women. I'm not trying to, let me cross here. I'm not trying to shag them. I'm just being open. And I'm also, I mean, that's how you overcome social anxiety. You don't overcome social anxiety by doing meditation. Meditation would help you with your anxiety because it will help you to be more present. And when we're present, we don't have any anxiety. Anxiety can't exist when you're present in the moment. People who suffer from bad social anxiety panic, and they slip out the present moment, and they go into their mind and they panic, and they're in their head, and then their inner monologue's taking over, and it's saying all kinds of threats and stuff like that. So this is spiritual, but my spirituality is practical. Now, it doesn't mean because I say I'm interested in spirituality, that means I can't take on any other concepts. I'm interested in personal development. I've always enjoyed going out and speaking to people. You guys have been following me enough. There's about, I don't know, hundreds of videos of me going out and meeting women. It's just my life goals now have changed. As I said, I shagged a lot of women, and now I'm looking for a girlfriend. I'm not desperate for a girlfriend. I'm really happy being single. So we also have to look at whatever model you're using in the world, is it working for you? Because the model that I'm using is working for me. I'm doing the job that I love. I get paid really well to do the job that I do. It grows me. It changes other people's lives. I've got a hobby at the same time. My hobby is my job, which is making YouTube videos. What else is there? I love being me. I never used to like myself. I used to have a lot of self-hate. And this is all because I've made all my practices work. I'm very interested in learning from other teachers, but I'm not the sort of person that's gonna, I'm not gonna be a fan of someone and worship them every day, because I'm interested in building a relationship with me. So I love Les Brown, I'm really inspired by him, but he inspires me to inspire myself. So a lot of people really get caught up in saying they're spiritual and worshipping other people, but not really worshipping themselves, not really giving themselves that love, and then they just say I'm spiritual. And a lot of people say I'm spiritual as a way to not face their fear. I've seen so much of that goes on. I've met so many people who again will say I'm really into personal development, I'm into healthy living, I'm into positive thinking, but they're a negative person. They're not happy, they're struggling to pay their rent, they're struggling with women, and I don't mean that in a nasty way, but it's clearly not working. And they're not investing in a mentor, they're not investing in actually putting it into practice. So anything you're doing, if it's not getting you the results, then it's not working. And possibly you're not applying it in the right way. There's many different factors, but usually it's a combination of a few simple things. I've always been a practical person. Now, I went to a spiritual group a few weeks ago with John Cooper's event. It was brilliant. That was really spiritual. We sat in a group, we did some meditation, we did some inner bonding or inner child work. I loved it. I got so much out of it. But that's not the only spiritual work I do. And all this week I've been speaking to people, so just because I'm not putting videos up of me doing it, it doesn't mean I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. So as well as spirituality, we have to have integrity. I'm not going to break my integrity because a few people are complaining they want videos done. If I feel like doing it, I will. And I don't teach pickup anymore, and I don't agree and I don't believe in going out and cheating on people. But there's nothing wrong with meeting a woman and having sex if you build an honest relationship with her. And it's genuine, it's from a place of love, it's not from a place of sneakiness, and it's not cowardly, and it's not use of tricks. Because I did that in the past, and it doesn't make you feel good. So I'm going to come on to something really exciting that I want to share with you right in this video. What I would say to you at the moment, if you're a guy and you're really excited about becoming more spiritual, developing yourself, becoming more congruent, but you equally want to meet women, you're quite new into meeting women, or you haven't found the right girlfriend, I would say do two things, and this is called practical spirituality. Let me just get your mind working for a second. Think of it like this. If I was to say to you, just for the moment, if I was to say to you for 6 weeks, because I work with people for 6 weeks, or just for, let's say for 6 months, fuck it, for 6 months, you're not going to speak to any women. You're not going to talk to women. Obviously, you may, if you have to go in a shop, you got to get on the train or work, but you're not going to speak to women in the sense of trying to pick them up or get a girlfriend. You're going to spend 6 months with me, or with any teacher, or with yourself, or a guru, or God, and you're going to work on yourself. First thing you're going to work on jealousy. Because obviously, if you're not getting the success in your life, you're not happy, you're going to have jealousy. It's inevitable. And we all have jealousy. It's just a question of, have we got our jealousy under control? The spirituality, again, that I practice is a lot of what Jeff Thompson taught me, Eckhart Tolle, and the book I read, Untethered Soul, where I observe jealous feelings in my body, or jealous identities, and I dissolve them by observing them and identifying with them. So if I was to say, you're going to work on your jealousy for 6 months, how are you going to do that? Your jealousy is probably coming from low self-esteem, which is social phobia, which is probably coming from a childhood trauma. If I was to, let's say for example, you had a trauma with your dad like I did, or your mum, and I said, you're going to go and speak to your dad or your mum. I know it's going to be difficult. You're not going to do it violently or being angry. You're going to go and have a conversation, and you're going to speak calmly like I'm speaking now, and you're going to say, I need to have a chat with you. This is how I feel. I'm hurt, I'm upset by what you've done to me, and I'm going to forgive you, but I want to know how I feel. If you used to do that, that would massively reduce your jealousy. That would at least make you feel a lot more better about yourself. The next one is lifestyle. If I was to say to you, and I got really straight, because lots of men I work with have this problem, if I said all your friends you're hanging around with, they're cheats and they're dishonest, let's get straight to it, let's not fuck around. So they're stealing, they're talking about you behind your back, they're not being honest, they're wearing a mask, and they're not in a great place. You have to drop them, you have to get away from them, because you are not going to grow as a person if you're around people that are not going to allow you to grow. And you're afraid of your friends because your friends are taking advantage of you. They may not be bullying you physically, but they're using you for the wrong reasons. It's not a proper wholesome relationship. So I would say be really brave, or take some time out from this social circle, come out of it for 6 months, come to my social circle event where you're going to meet like-minded people, honest people, nice people, people that are afraid, and we've all got fear. I've still got fears I'm working on, but you're going to be in an environment where people are like-minded and people are honest and not going to try and trick you and steal from you, and you're going to feel comfortable, or at least you're going to feel comfortable to be uncomfortable. So you're working on that, you're working on jealousy, you're healing the trauma with your parents. Now I'm also going to say we're going to find purpose. What is it you enjoy? Now, because you're probably going to be at this moment, if you're struggling with women, you're probably going to be struggling with your finances. Money's going to be difficult for you to attract. You maybe feel like I used to feel years ago, that money's bad, you've got wrong beliefs, I can't make money, other people do. So how can we find the job that you like? How can we take a risk? Let's get really straight to it. Let's take a risk. Maybe you have to give up your day job and you have to set your own business up, or maybe you have to set your business up on the side, work for free for the first 6 months. So can you hear what I'm saying? This is before you spoke to women. So now you've got your business that you've set up, you're doing free work to start with. Let's say you're doing business coaching, for example, just to stress a point. So for 6 months you're working with clients for an hour a week over Skype or in person, and you're giving them advice on how to start a business or how to be better at selling or whatever. And you're doing that for free to start with because you're building up your brand. You love doing that, you enjoy it. You're not getting paid for it, but you love doing it. And you're still doing your day job that you hate, you don't like, but it's paying the bills. So you've got your business that you've set up, and you're just starting and you're getting practiced in it. You're rebuilding a relationship with your family. You've got a new social circle. How is that? That's spirituality. You're practicing internal spirituality, and my mentor Jeff calls it muscular spirituality, where your spirituality is actually working in the world. Now, you've been doing this for 6 months, you're starting to feel different. You've actually identified who you are. You're not with a negative social circle, so now you're not cheating, you're not lying, your whole habits have changed. You feel better about yourself. You haven't even spoke to a woman yet. Now we're going to go out and now we're going to start speaking to women, we're going to start speaking to people to overcome your social anxiety. Now you're going out with good intentions. Yes, you would like to have sex, but you're not manipulating women, you're not tricking them, you're wearing your heart on your sleeve, you're doing what I'm doing, you're walking through the park, if you see a nice girl, you're going over and you're giving her a compliment, you're starting a conversation with her, you're not expecting anything, and you're getting to know her. Now, that is practical spirituality. It's not pick-up artistry, it's not tricking women. Now, in the midst of it, you get on really well with a girl in the park. She asks you for your number. She says, hey, do you want to give me your number? You go, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Wow, Johnny's right. I wasn't even trying to get a number. I wasn't even think of it. We just got on really well. She's interested in business. She runs a business. You've got a business started that is in the making. You've told her you're honest, and you're fixing the relationship with your parents. You've got a new social circle. How attractive are you now? And you're going on a date with this girl, she's really attractive. You go on a date with her, it works out well. You tell her that you're not into playing games, you're not messing around. You wanna, you know, see how things work out. She wants the same. You've been on 3 or 4 dates, you have sex with each other, you sleep with each other, and you're in a relationship, she's your girlfriend. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Who doesn't want that? And that's what I've done. I haven't done that now because I'm working on really high levels of spirituality because I'm focusing on teaching. But what is wrong with that? So you've actually made your spirituality work. You're not just saying you're spiritual. Now you've got a beautiful girlfriend. Now your business is taken off because now it's established because you've done a lot of voluntary work. You're getting paid to do what you love. You've quit your job that you don't like. You're in full-time business. I'm actually telling you my old story, but I'm kind of adding a few fictional bits on it and how you can do the same. Now, you're not lying to people. You're the same person who speaks to his girlfriend, the same person who works with his clients. You're congruent. Now you want to get more spiritual and you really want to do traditional spirituality. So now you're going to events, you're meditating, you're getting present in the moment. There's nothing wrong with it. But can you see the difference between saying, I'm spiritual, I'm not going to go out and meet women because I'm spiritual, but you don't go out at all, you just sit in your house meditating with candles? And there's nothing wrong with that. But can you see my point? So this is why I'm not doing infill videos anymore. I'm not going to do it because I've done it for so long, I've grown. But the videos like this is what I enjoy. So this is really what I'm doing now, is living from integrity. And again, as Jeff says, it's working from a place of love. I love to do this video. Back then, I liked doing videos of me going out meeting women. I don't enjoy that no more. I don't need to show off. It felt egotistical. Still good, because even sometimes being egotistical can be good. It can teach people a lot. But the lesson was, I don't need to do it no more. Now, if I feel motivated, excuse me, I will go out and do, I don't know, a type of social experiment where I just go out and speak to people and I'm just talk to them. Might talk to women, might talk to guys. And come to think of it, I did do a video, it wasn't that long ago, with a Czech girl, and I got a phone number, and that wasn't me doing pickup. I just did a social experiment. She liked me. We haven't met. We keep meaning to meet. She's emailing me. I'm busy when she keeps contacting me, but I'm just making a point that I'm not saying be spiritual and you never speak to women again. I didn't say that. So people take things out of context. Hopefully this video is really going to sum up what my message is about. So really, everything I've said in this video is how I personally overcome social phobia and social anxiety, which is the fear of being around people, speaking to people, and it's actually the fear of being in public. There's a lot of shame and judgment around it, but I've actually gave you the whole framework of what I teach on my 6 weeks program, because one of you asked me could I outlay what I teach. I said no, and today I changed my mind and decided to explain it. So that's really the work I do now. So my old teaching used to be where I took people out directly and encouraged them, got them to speak to women, but I found people get actual better results when we work on the spiritual aspect, which is jealousy, finding the job they want. It's more of a life coaching route. But if I'm out of people walking, they see a girl, of course they can go and speak to her, and everyone's getting better results. So of course, if people are getting better results, I'm not going to resort back to my old teaching and change it, and I'm going to keep evolving my teaching. My teaching may get to a stage where I just sit down with people for 2 hours, whereas as opposed to now I go for a walk. And some of them, a lot of the students I've been working with lately on the 6 weeks program, with some of them I've sat down because it's felt necessary to do that with that person, because they've had quite a lot of anxiety around socializing with me. So I've got them to sit with me, practice eye contact, and we've practiced talking about stuff. And it's so simple and insulting, but it works. It's always the simple stuff that works. So don't complicate spirituality, don't complicate personal development. Spirituality is about developing yourself and raising your state of consciousness. It's about aligning yourself to who you truly are, and getting good with women, or even I don't like that term, or overcoming social anxiety, is about speaking to people and getting more comfortable. It's pretty fucking simple. So don't overcomplicate things and make it, you know, to the point where it's so complicated that it can't even be applied. I like to think that all my videos make it very simple for people to go out. So I love you guys, very good question. And that's how you overcome social anxiety, become more spiritual, and attract women naturally.